ZANU-PF, unlike MDC, ayimwauki. MDC mwau, ZANU-PF fambei. MDC mwau, ZANU-PF fambei.
chokwadi pasi pano taiona moto marongera vanoita wepanyika vanoda kudisu vamwe tioneswe moto dai pasina kupindira kwaishe chokwadi pasi pano taiona moto marongera vanoita wepanyika vanoda kudisu vamwe.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on the situation right now with me, your host as usual, Dara Blessed Mhlanga. Now, just recently Zimbabwe came out of by-elections. 28 constituencies were up for grabs after legislators either died or were recalled from parliament by their respective political parties. In the aftermath of that by-election, where citizens, the voters spoke, they gave 19 seats to the newly formed CCC, and they also gave the remainder to ZANU-PF, which is 9 seats to ZANU-PF, 2 which were previously held by the MDC alliance, and 7 which were previously held by ZANU-PF itself, mostly which became vacant owing to death, and 1 recall of Killer Zivu. Now, after that aftermath of those by-elections, there is war, calls for vote of no confidence in the MDC alliance, allegedly because its leader, Douglas Togarase Mwonzora, is accused of having failed to lead the party and destroyed it. Now, in studio today to help us discuss what is going on in the MDC-T, also known as the MDC Alliance, is Mhetu, the provincial chairperson of the MDC-T in Harare. He was also a candidate in Epworth. Now, the party, the MDC Alliance, which actually recalled, failed to get a single seat in the 28 constituencies, or a single seat in the 122 council elections that were held in the party. Now, thank you very much, Mr. Mhetu, for joining us. Hope you are well.
Thank you. Very well.
Beautiful.
As you can see.
Yes. Now let's just try and understand. We understand that you were blocked from entering your party headquarters for National Council. And from a statement that I just saw yesterday, that was written by the Harare provincial spokesperson, Fungai Post, he refers to you as a former chairperson of Harare province. I want to understand.
Yeah, sure. It's true that I'm no longer part of the MDC, in as much as they didn't furnish me with a suspension letter and the grounds for the purported suspension. I think I don't need the letter. I'm also no longer interested in being part of such a shameful organization. I feel that this organization will actually taint my good image. In that regard, let them write the suspension letter or not writing it, it doesn't change anything. I'm no longer part of them.
You are effectively resigning or leaving the MDC-T.
I'm effectively leaving the MDC because, to my close confidants, I had told them that due to questionable leadership qualities of Douglas Mwonzora, if we fail to move a motion for a vote of no confidence on the last Friday's National Council, I will quit, because I can no longer associate myself with such a shameful organization whose leader has got unquestionable leadership inadequacies, abuse of funds, handpicking of candidates, and questionable personal life. And I said, no. If we fail to move that motion, count myself out.
Now I want you to explain to me when you say questionable leadership skills. I thought you were rooting for this guy when he won in the EOC. Now, when did you realize this questionable leadership skills?
I was rooting for the MDC Alliance as an organization and not necessarily his personality. And as you know, Blessed, people, they have got their good side and the bad side. So I was rooting for MDC as an organization with Mwonzora, knowing his good and bad side. He is the only person who was better amongst the people who wanted to take leadership of this organization. And as somebody who is so acquainted with the MDC, back then, I was futuristic. I knew that Mwonzora, with his leadership capacities, he can steer this ship for a short while, and then a clear and good leader will come. So that's why in the process I wanted to move a vote of no confidence on him, because the path he had taken, as I felt that it was enough. We needed a better leader who cleans the bad reputation the organization had right now. Unfortunately, he called the riot police, he hired bouncers, he called structures who are sympathetic to him and the Harare province youths to bar me from entering the meeting. If Mwonzora knew very well that he is that popular, he wasn't going to use all those apparatus to block me from entering the National Council.
But Douglas Mwonzora, your president, speaks about rational disputation. He says the politics of rank should be of the past. You talk about politics of rank right now in your statement.
That's what he does, politics of rank at his backyard. And out there he speaks differently. That's not right. He was supposed to let me enter the National Council. I move a motion of a vote of no confidence. If he loses it, then he goes. If he wins it, then the people would have spoken. But he used that politics of rank which he speaks against.
Now, who would you have wanted to see replace him after a vote of no confidence?
This issue is not about Mhetu. It's about moving forward with the legacy of Mwonzora and Shangraj.
You think Mwonzora won't move it forward?
Mwonzora, I feel, and the majority of National Council members share the same feelings that Mwonzora is not capacitated to take this thing forward because of his leadership deficiencies. After pushing a vote of no confidence on him, the National Council was going to deliberate on the best person to take the leadership.
When you say his leadership deficiencies, sometimes it's very important to give the example of, like, he failed here and there. And
okay, I will give you an example. As the Harare provincial chairperson, we held primary elections for a number of wards and constituencies here in Harare. Unfortunately, the winners were not given an opportunity to represent the party in the by-election. He handpicked his friends and associates. Let me give you an example of Mavuku. We had Nicodemus Matimbo, who won the primary election, but they handpicked Blessing Nende. And Nicodemus Matimbo was quite disappointed by that, and he left the party. He is now with Triple C. We have got John Sabao, who wanted to represent FWF in Ward 6. A primary election was held. He won. Unfortunately, the ward was given to one Richard Tower. We go to Glenora, a primary election. There is Lucia Mageza. She won the primary election, but right now our candidate was Wenje Farai. So what kind of a leader does this? I had a meeting with Douglas Mwonzora together with the national chairman. I opened our constitution and I read clauses which states that every member of the party has the right to be voted or to vote in primary elections. And I said, look, can you uphold this constitution by allowing primary elections in every ward in constituency? They certainly said, no, we are going to NP because we have got the discretion as the leaders. And that's what happened. And some people left for Triple C. It is the Harare provincial chairperson. It pained him a lot.
But you are speaking as if he is the end of MDC, like he made these decisions unilaterally. He handpicked by himself. And the other members of the standing committee are innocent.
That's why I am saying I had a meeting with him. I cannot implicate other members of the standing committee where they are not involved. I am quoting a meeting I had with him personally.
But do you think they are complacent in this? Is it the entire leadership is controlled by one person?
I would want to think so, because they welcomed my move to move a vote of no confidence on him. However, they were clear to say we are not able to move that motion. Young men, come and move the motion. We are in support of this because we are going nowhere. Come 2023, I don't think we will have even one PR. The party will be dead and buried. Please save this organization. We know you are brave enough. I told them that I'm brave. I'm going to raise the motion because first, my inner conviction. Secondly, there is a popular sentiment that Douglas has felt within the party structures. So I'm sure in moving the motion, it is going to be supported.
Mm-hmm. But would you care to name these people who are supporting you?
I think that won't be proper because there are change of circumstances. These people might have been supporting me yesterday, but today they might have been thinking otherwise.
But don't you think it is fair for the political space, for the people of Zimbabwe to know leaders who oscillate, who do not stand on what they're supposed to believe in? Because right now, they are watching you being manhandled and being pushed out of harvesters, but they are the ones who actually encouraged you to come and do that.
They are not the ones who encouraged me to do it. I approached them and I told them my idea and they embraced it. Right now, when I announced that I have left MDC on the Friday incident, a lot of people approached me saying, we would rather go with you than to go with Mwonzora. He has no direction, the party is not going anywhere. And those people gave me a lot of pressure to say, where are you? Let's move together. I told them to sit back, relax, and calm down. In a short while, I will start to reach out to them to say, are you still standing by that position? That you no longer want to go with Mwonzora, but you would rather choose to go with me. If they say yes, I am going to call them. We hold a rally. I say, all right, fine, you all declare that you want to go with Mhetu. We are going to discuss on the way forward. The way forward which we are going to discuss as a group is the path which we are going to take. So this senior leadership, whom you want me to name call them, I want at this moment, if they continue to stand with their stance, you are going to see them when I call the people who subscribe to this notion to come open.
Now, this notion where are you taking this new notion? A new political party, or you're joining existing political parties?
Okay, I wouldn't want to give more light on that one, but what I want to say is, for any political party to succeed, its leader must be a person of integrity who is logical in his thoughts. Number one, a political party should have infrastructure. You can't talk of starting a political party without infrastructure. A political party should have finances. You can't talk of it if you do not have enough resources to move the party forward. A political party should have human resources in terms of administrative staff. You can't just wake up and think of forming a political party without that. And then a political party should come with an ideology which will attract the grassroots support. And in that, now we will be building structures. So without that, how can somebody wake up and talk of starting a political party? My name is Mr. Mhetu. I've got a degree in public administration with the University of Zimbabwe. I've got a master's in governance with the Africa University. I don't behave like these fly-by-night people who say if they are agreed in their political parties, tomorrow they think of starting their own parties. Like Impostor, no. People take me serious on whatever I say. So, I do not have any intentions of forming a political party. I have highlighted what it takes for one to form a political party, and I am very far away from that. That's point number one. Point number two, when we look at the politics in Zimbabwe, it's normally a politics of two parties, the ruling party and the opposition. What the opposition parties do is that the government and the ruling party has been there since independence. We also need to test the other side to see how it is. We have all known the good and the bad of the current government, and we feel that if the opposition comes, we are going to test the difference. And once we have numerous opposition parties who are pushing the same agenda, it means there is something that needs to be investigated. Personally, I don't believe in that.
Now I want us to come to statements that you have made in the past. You have alleged in the past that, not very, but recent past, that Douglas Mwonzora is an appendage of ZANU-PF. How do you arrive to that conclusion?
I will still stick to my statement, and I will end there. I said, whenever Douglas Mwonzora comes to the podium, he is found to be busy attacking fellow opposition leaders in the likes of Nelson Chamisa. What does Nelson Chamisa have to do with you? You won at the court harvest house. You won government grant. You won the MPs in parliament. Why are you still on his throat? There are failures of ZANU-PF where you are supposed to, not to criticize, but even to critique, to say, hey, Ramunangagwa, we know on ABCDE you are doing so well. But papa maticha maaregerera, mari dzavanotambira hadzichaiti, pamanesi matiregerera, pane chichi matiregerera, hakuzi kutuka munhu. Handiti kutaurawo zvakanaka, but he is always Chamisa wafamba napona mukabete. Takagara hedu mutende muya as a senior leadership, techingoti komana apa hatina kutungamira. Look what he said patatiri ku the last rally kumaZimbabwe grounds. Journalists failed to capture it. But pandandakatogara ndakati apa hatina leadership. He said, my primary goal is not to be a minister or a prime minister or a president, but to make people happy. How do you feel President wako wauri kutarisira kuti next year toda kuti awine atungamire nyika iwo bva ataura kuti my primary goal is not to become a president but to make people happy? Kana paina akacapture speech yese yekuZimbabwe grounds, go and look for this phrase, how do you feel? Because the primary goal for job praiser is to make people happy. That's the primary goal also for Bus Stop TV, put it on a joke so that people can be happy. But now the primary goal of a president is to take power through legal means and constitutional means. Isusu tinokutevera pati takagara uchitaura izvo tinobva tichi go mudhara hachitaba tinoseva ichi. But kana wakutaura kuti kwangu kufadza vanhu kwete kuti ndiite president zvinorevei.
So have you ever had an opportunity to speak to him about this thing before making these decisions to walk out after he had been suspended?
Indandisingatodiwi. Chandandisingadirwi ndicho chii chekutaura. And kutaura kwangu kwakusiri focused on personalities, but on growing the party. And inini my vision was to grow the MDC party. The Triple C vachita grow their party. Vana Egypt Zemunenja, Nana Hosea Chipanga, vachita grow their parties. Then prior to next year, to Nakama Simba, guys, can we join our hands together? Even when it comes to issue of dialogue, but normally dialogue, after elections, vanhu varohwa, vanhu vaurawa, maproperties atsakatika, then tozoita dialogue, zvinodetserei. Saka inini idea yangu yanga iri yekuti ma-oppositions aya vari pavariko neruling party wova so strong. Kana vava strong wobva vati guys, nyangwe tikapinda mugeneral election 2023, it's most likely nobody is going to go away with the majority. So why can't we talk of dialogue? We do one thing for the sake of nation building and national interest, and for the sake of unity and progress within the country. Hapana imboramba kana vaona kuti pama by-elections aitwa Mwonzora atora uchi namba yakati, Chamisa watora akati, Zani yatora akati, Hosea Chipanga atora akati, vanhu vaona kuti chiri apa pari competition. But now as it stands our zero. Saka zvinotsamisa kuti we are not a political party. I told people in Harvest House on my last provincial executive meeting, which I addressed before time of my by-elections, I said, ladies and gentlemen, let's bury our differences and focus on this by-election. Because if we lose, I'm going to step down. Because even the chairman where Harare province is now one councillor or one MP, parliament, no local government. Ndasiyana chairman we bury our society. Saka ini, I want to protect my integrity and my good reputation. I don't want to be a chairperson of a burial society. This party is going to be a burial society on the event that we fail these elections. And before I said that, there are serious issues. Those who want to put me on a camera, please do. The party lost dismally. Saka shall I step down because they are burial society? No. Why can't the leader resign? To such a new leader, he can turn this burial society from a political party. So I fail and I wouldn't want to associate myself with the burial society.
But Mr. Why are you saying these things now after you had been suspended first? Because we only heard you talk about this after you had been suspended.
Because I was talking in-house. Like the example I have given you, with this party, in a burial society if we don't win these elections, and counting me out. It was before all this fracas. And the first interview I had with Open Pali, Secretary Wedwe Harare Province, Lakson Nguma, called me to say, Chimbo Mirejo, Kutaura Media, because Pamazo interview with Open Pali, Jamataura Jacoda depends, articles on the winner, per Congress, in Fanakitwa, possibly in June. If he wants to be honest, ndakampindura ndikati imimi muchiri kutarisira kuda kundokondesa maposition kucongress. Inini handina tarisiro yekundokondesa kucongress because ndakakuudzai pameeting before these by-elections kuti if we lose, inini count me out. Handiuonekwi ndichienda kucongress inini kundoisa maresources angu ndichiita fight for a position in organization which is a caucus. No. We wanted to build the party, we wanted to bring flesh to this organization. We can only do it if the leader at its helm steps down. If he fails, it means all our hopes are in vain. So iyi issue iyi handina kutanga kuitaura after this verbal suspension yavakandipa, ndakatotanga kuitaura prior, and I even became unpopular to some Mwonzora loyalists pavainzwa makohwe kuti ndiri kutaura such issues. Saka these are not sour grapes, but I'm still standing on my position, which I've been standing with for quite some time in the MDC.
MDC-T is a constitutional list party. Is that a factual statement from where you stand?
I don't expect such a question from you, because my narrations, I clearly stated that the president has been violating this constitution, and I reiterated that I went to his office together with the national chairman, armed with our constitution. I opened and quoted it, requesting that we go through primary elections in this by-election. But they didn't follow. They handpicked candidates.
Were you handpicked?
I was also handpicked. And I refused. I was then persuaded to stand for Epworth. Grudgingly, I accepted as a respect for leadership.
But earlier on you said you were not popular because you were speaking out from within the party. So how did you end up being chosen?
About my unpopularity due to speaking truth to power. Of course, on the Mwonzora loyalists, they knew that the president doesn't like this man because he always chose the truth. But now on handpicking of candidates, they knew, even though we don't like this man, he has got the capacity to win this seat for the party. So they had no choice. They know what I did in April in 2018 primary elections. They know what I've been doing in the party for all the positions that I held. And they knew very well that this is the best soldier whom we must put. Setting our differences aside, he is capacitated to win this seat for us. And their prediction was right, because amongst all the candidates who participated in this by-election from the MDC-T, I am the one who got the highest number of votes. So their prediction was right.
Who defined the highest?
I got 745 votes. The person who came second from me is Mgende from the PDP, who contested in Highfield East under the Alliance banner. He got 500 votes. From him, the rest is now 3-something going down. So this proves them right, that they knew that I am the best foot soldier to deliver victory for the MDC. However, we couldn't manage because the people were clear to say Mhetu to not die. But the jacket which we are putting to mean Mwonzora wenyuyu ndiye akukusvibisai, ndiye achakudyisai, isuda kukuvhoterai. Takatozosvika pakuti naini Mwonzora wacho hapo paposta rangu nepaflyer rangu 1 madii mandivhotera. But isusu as FW, we are very clever people. We know that if we vote for you and you win, isusu tichava chiseko chenyika tichinzi mavhotera Mwonzora. So iwewe victory yako is not going to be celebrated. Yateta kupa victory ichacelebrated ndeye Mwonzora and inenge ichitirwadza. Saka in that regard, Mhetu, we cannot vote for you unless masiya Mwonzora mapika rimwe bachi.
But you still went ahead after being advised by the voters. Why didn't you pull out?
Yeah, very good. After being advised by the voters, Open Parley did an interview with me. Ndikati pandai campaign in April, people said, Mhetu, change your jacket and then you vote for him. However, I will not change my jacket. I said so. Because the jacket right away ndi Mwonzora. Saka inini pandaiti I won't change my jacket, ndaiti Mwonzora wacho ndiye wetinobvisa tosara takapfeka the jacket the MDC, because right MDC yakasiwana tsvangirai we know, and yakapinda through trials and tribulations takamira nayo, but uyu wamunayo uyu. Saka inini ndaiti tinobvisa uyu, then toramba tine MDC yedu. Kana tatadza kumubvisa, what's the use? I would rather leave.
Mr. Mhetu, there was Mashumba. In fact, in the first instance, there was Chief Law who came out to say Mwonzora misappropriated party fund. Then there was Murimoga also came out. There was Mashumba who also came out. And recently, Dr. Thokozani Kupe coming out to talk about your president's unleadership characteristics. But you stood there, you supported him, you were with him, and the party. Why did you do that?
Personally, I agreed with the people whom you have just mentioned earlier on. However, the method they used is what I disagreed with. If you are part of Heart and Soul TV and you feel that the directors are mismanaging funds and they are doing MDC-T, you don't go at media center and hold a press conference to attack the leader. No, we must use internal means to solve the problem. Like I told you, that internally I've been telling people in the MDC that if we lose the by-elections, this party will be a barrier of society. I would rather step down. It never came in the mainstream media because those were in-house address, tichigadzirisana pachelo. And pakaitikawo izvi zvelo nezvekuti hatichererwi mumusangano munoabviswa funds. You can't go to the president's office wondopopota. No. Tinovavhurira constitution ndovaverengera, then zvavakwa vari kutevedzera kana kusaitevedzera. Ini chikudamo ndaona kuti varamba kutevedzera constitution. Handina kuenda kumeeting kutoti ndabva kumeeting izvozvi napresident ndichivaudza kuti itai so vakaramba. No. Leadership inongoti anyway it's fine. Regai titarise kuti kana tatifambe kuti vachanzwa here. So hatipopoti futi mumameeting. Taita problem nevamwe maleaders whom you mentioned earlier on, kuti kana vachida kumova a motion vanopopota. Handizvo. In as much as tichiwirirana navo, method yavazoshandisa ndo yataitira kuzowirirana nayo. But my issues avane vachireza titoziva kuti they are spot on. Saka in my case, ndinoverenga constitution, ndotsvaga clause zvainoreva, ndoitevedzera sezvairi. Clause iri yainyatsotaura kuti kana munhu achiitwa a vote of no confidence in National Council, it must be in writing. Then Maisa in writing, the person must be given an opportunity to respond either verbally or in writing. Atizvidefenda ipapo. Then National Council kana yaita divided kuti vamwe vari in support vamwe havasi, poitwa a vote. Kana 2/3 yawirirana kuti munhu uyu is incompetent ngaende, anobva adini adzima. But kana akando appeal ku tribunal, appeal yake iyoyo zvakureva kuti haichaziri expulsion yamamuita, inenge yava suspension. Then ozoenda through disciplinary committee. Kana akasai appeal then adzimba. Saka zvanga zvisina kumarana kana kutsvaga personality yemunhu kana chii. And even then ndakaenda muNational Council, vanhu vakavota in support of Mwonzora. What I was going to do was just to say I have resigned. Vanhu vozonditi, why have you resigned? Ndaiti it's not for public consumption. Ndaresigna zvangu because handichadika kuva associated with this organization. Why muchitifunza reasons? Reasons are private and confidential. Ndinenge ndisina problem kuti ndizotaura ABCDE because tafollow the proper channel and vanhu vacho vanoda kuita stand with their leader. It means my views angu are a minority. Saka it's better that I move out. But chakazondipa kuti ndichitaura inyaya yekuti my views at the majority akatsitsirirwa and we were not given an opportunity kuti tizadzikise our constitution.
Don't you think that is the same reason why the other people did it? Because like you said, those who like you wanted to speak up have been violently ejected.
vamashumba vaida kutaura munational council here kana kuti vaida kutaura pacongress. Same applies to Dr. Tokozani Kupe, Pugeni and the like. Ndoda kunzwawo maplatform avairezera ma-issues avo, if you get me clearly.
From my understanding, most of these issues were raised within the party first. I know, like, for instance, Mashumba wrote letters to Douglas Mwonzora, actually demanding for payment for his salaries. The same thing with Murimoga. First, they went private. At the point where they realized that they were not being listened to and were being treated violently, they went out to the media.
I would want to comment much on the issue of Mashumba, Pugeni and Tokozani Kupe, because the manner in which they approached Douglas Mwonzora, they are better positioned to give us reasons why they chose that route. But as for me, if I am aggrieved in the party and I feel kuti pane zvinhu zvadoda kuti zvigadziriswe, I told you kuti ndaiita ma-meetings navo one-on-one, ndovhura constitution, voramba kuteerera, varamba kuteerera nekuti life goes on, and mberi. Totoenderera mberi, ndisina kutaura chi kumedia. Kuzosvikira pandakati, izvi zvakuda chi, someone to step down or a vote of no confidence. Tobva ndati tinoiita sei? Because kuti ndikanyora tsamba, icha achieve chii? In my own point of view, ndikanyorera Douglas Mwonzora tsamba, it won't change anything. Because as a party, tine ma-organs are mandated to give corrective measures. Kana pane something chaitwa chi zviri wrong. Ndikanyora tsamba, I feel kuti I am becoming individualistic. Because andigoni kunyora tsamba nditi Mr. Mhetu, I am dissatisfied nezvaitwa izvi na president kana na treasurer nachi, I am being individualistic. Why don't we use my organs of the party who are mandated to do so? Kana iri standing committee ndisingagari imomo, why can't I influence vanogara kuti vaite move the motion? Kana iri national executive, kana iri national council. Inini I knew kuti national executive yemusangano wedu haina ma-powers. Inongotaura things then you recommend a national council. National council zvayasunga ndo zvitori binding. Saka yenda kati no handipedze nguva ndichitaura neuye neuye. Indongoti zvine national council yandinoziva kuti ndo the highest decision making body in between Congress. Tikamove motion tikawina. Tikamove motion tikadyiwa. Ini ndo resign zvangu. But we were not given an opportunity yekuti ndipinde mu national council macho.
What do you think is the future of the MDC-T in its current form?
Vanhu vachiri kuita zve-MDC vangokopera nawo chitunha chakutombondovigwa. And like I said earlier on, in 2023, next year, I doubt kana vakaita PR kana wanja. I doubt that very much. And when it comes to fielding candidates, I doubt kana vakafielda even half of my candidates across the country. They are going to fail to have fielded my candidates. Because the leader is not concerned about growing the party. I think in my own analysis, he's just interested in who receive this government grant at some moment until beginning of next year, possibly the last grant. To validate our elections, tajiwa we don't know kuti mangwana anengaenda kupi. Pamwe chatoya kuendwa nogona to commissioner we never know. We just have to wait and see. But we look in the MDC, it's darkness. Yeah. And I feel sorry for one much to associate and the MDC. Because these organizations also, who are part of an organization, in Okupo Valley, which they don't see. Nina, personally, I feel being part of the Douglas Mwonzora MDC, yet on the visa respect. And even when I found out I'm going to respect it. Quite to no associate and Naji, Murumbo's fantasy. In India, I was teaching visa. Then trace a moon, I need election. Then the party of Betty value. Today, with the truth for all the time I've been in MDC, the Inets can have phone, and watching the book that I'm really respectable in society. Why did you step so low? Could you associated in Chakafe, Chinaila, Mhetu? Ini ndichingoshinga tichachigadza saka badazo not hachigadzirisiki regaendera siye nechitunha chavo
Amazing, but you say that maybe he's interested in pocketing the government grant. Is the government grant not being used to develop the party?
Yeah, if you are to have a meeting with my departments in Musangamere, they will tell you kuti havana chavakareceiva. Isusu takaita congress, tikaita gap filling exercise muno muHarare using our personal resources. It's not anything chabva to party. Right now the party is overdue kuti ende ku National Congress, but I heard kuti my party funds are 000. There is virtually nothing. Mukadeedza ve organizing committee kuti makambopuwawo mari kuti mufambe muchita structures vanokuudza kuti zero. Mukatora stock yekuti pama government grant esakauya from the Supreme Court judgment yakaitwa, did the party buy any, even one party vehicle? They didn't. The party does not have vehicles. Saka ve organizing vanoenda sei pasabva vachindobuilda ma structure. The recruitment and mobilization, havana kupuwa even a cent. The elections, same applies. So the money is not being used to build the party. Security department havana anything chavakapiwa. Ndakatozo vapa mari parali yekuma Zimbabwe Girls. Kana chikafu kana chii kana chii havana chikana chavakapiwa. Ndakatozotengesa makuponi efyu ndakapuwa na Paulina Mpariwa kuti tikape chikafu vakawane kudya. Varipo vakavati varipo kusvika kwaedza, but havana anything chavakapiwa even a cent. So that enough is evidence that there is abuse of party funds.
So how does Mwonzora still find support within the political party to even find security to inject you when you say it's this bad?
When I say
it's this bad.
It's this bad to people who are development oriented. To the person at the apex, it's not bad because no, the state so to him I don't think it's this bad. If it was this bad to him, he could have done the honorable thing, that is to step down.
But I'm saying, how does he find support from the other people? Like for instance, when you were blocked from entering Harvest House, you're not blocked by Douglas Monk. He sent other people. How do they support a person that you say is this there?
There might be some beneficiaries something somewhere, somehow. Number one. Number two, I told you if he was that popular with the party structures, he wouldn't have barred me from entering. Because he knew that I don't lose. But barring me is not what he knew that he is unpopular with structures. And then to start on the apparatus he used to ban me. You can't call riot police. You can't call Bambaunzi. It means barrier short for my structures. And he even mobilized my structures across the whole province. He mobilized these clueless youths to come and bar me, but he felt that it was not enough. It really needed to be reinforced with bouncers. It right.
How long have you been in the MDC, Mr. Mhetu?
I joined the MDC quite back. I think in 2008, at the peak of the shortages, that's when I started to hold a position in the MDC. Prior to that, I was just but a strong supporter, but I didn't have any position within the party.
In the history of your political party, have you ever had assistance from riot police, especially in Harvest House, until recently?
Can you come again?
In the history that you have been part of the MDC, have you ever been given assistance by the police, especially at Harvest House?
Not any time I know.
But now the police love you.
How can you say now the police love me when I say...
I love you as an organization because you are blocked by the riot police, as you say. They are now coming to assist the MDC. Is that not odd?
That one is best. I think Mwonzora will be better placed to comment on that, because as soon as I was barred from entering Harvest House, I moved out. As I moved out, there was a riot car parked outside. Then the journalists came so that I could give a press statement, and then the police said, out. The police had to point me and say, move away, or else. Then I had to go. But the bouncers were there, and the security, the Harvest House security, they were gathered there. The structures which he mobilized, they were gathered there. The police came to me and said, leave.
This is why I'm asking you, does that not strike you in your personal capacity? I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of Douglas, but in your personal capacity, does that not strike you as odd?
You are preaching to the converted. I told you that I had to cut my ties with the MDC as of Friday. And as a leader, there are a lot of things that I saw in the party. That's why I had to cut my ties.
Share with us those lot of things, because people would want to really know, apart from things that are already in the public domain, what exactly was happening inside, because you were in top leadership.
I was in top leadership, but all I can say is that whenever Douglas Mwonzora would go on the podium, he would be busy attacking us on Chamisa. And that's all I can say.
But that is already in the public domain. We all know that.
You all know that?
Yes.
Isn't that you get to appreciate when I started saying it on Friday? As the former chairperson for the MDC-T province, I said it with confidence.
But are there any other things that could be hidden from the public view?
No, that's all.
You're still protecting an institution.
I'm not protecting an institution. I'm just telling the truth. Within all, on honest truth, that's all.
Have you at any time used your personal resources to take care of security at Harvest House?
The security at Harvest House is not well kept. There are people who are not, I think you have been coming to my press conference. Have not put in people who they always do that to every person. And to the leadership, Yemsangana. Vakatombogumwa Madura, 500. And to me, they did that like anyone else. And Kanantinayo, I've been assisting. But the responsibility in my hands. No. Pandatotaura and people are Pavakati, Chairman Takufanenza, Hatodini, Kiadeni, when the format Kopona Mempire, and Dakumatengesa, Tukupation, Marim Tengitka.
This is the same people who were now biting.
I wouldn't want to say the security bited on me. They didn't.
But they're the ones who blocked you. So
I don't even have feelings with the security. They are good people. They are only just being used, and they are desperate. If somebody is desperate, they can do it.
From the people in your party, in the standing committee, who do you think would turn around that institution? As you say, Douglas Mwonzora is not competent to do it.
I wanted the National Council to come up with the best person to lead us.
Yeah, but
why?
in your personal, I want us to come to you because you're a leader, and you definitely should have seen someone to say, I think this person could take our party forward, and you could actually believe in them and support them.
I wouldn't have done justice, and I would not have done justice if I am to pinpoint that so is best qualified to take the ship to victory in 2023, because I might be closer to Komichi and know his areas of strength and weaknesses. I might not be closer to Engineer Mwonzora. So if I am to say Komichi is the best suited, I would not have done justice, because my decision would have been influenced by my proximity to him. So that is the reason why earlier on I said I wanted the National Council to come up with a better replacement, because in our collectiveness, at least if the majority decision, normally it carries the day.
I understand that, and we have moved past that because the vote of no confidence has been actually been blocked, and you have also left the party, so we can't theorize on that. But you sitting here right now,
yes,
who would you, in your own wisdom, without National Council, who would you think would be best suited to steer that ship?
I can't be seen to be campaigning for somebody on camera. If we are to go for lunch, President, over a cup of tea, I will be able to tell you that Ningi is better. But in public, I can't be seen to be campaigning for someone.
Some have also said that Mwonzora in his standing committee is surrounded by deadwood. Do you think that is a fair statement to say?
That's a difficult question. That's a difficult question.
Apart from Douglas Mwonzora in his standing committee, apart from him, if he does not speak, who do you think can woo the people of Zimbabwe in whatever position that they are, not as president?
Douglas Mwonzora himself is also deadwood. And now when we talk of a replacement to Douglas Mwonzora in the MDC, we don't have to limit ourselves to the National Standing Committee, National Executive, National Council. We can actually have a progressive leader even in other provinces. So that's why I found it difficult to point to say so and so is better place to become a leader. National Council, feeling my representatives from all provinces. And those people, they know one talent, one good leadership qualities, one to go on for their own personal lives, their organizations, wherever they are. They would know a good history.
But is it not shocking? Is it not shocking to you that if you want to replace your leader, you can't even look around those who are close to him, in terms of positions of power? Is it not shocking that you would want to even go outside, even from Standing Committee, National Executive, National Council? Outside, is that not shocking? That your talent is actually not within the top leadership?
In politics, I think you know that whenever you try to rise, there are a lot of obstacles which you go through. And normally, if your capacities are seen, because sorrow can actually become a threat to the president. That's why I said it's not fair to say within the standing committee, Ndiani angaba better placed to steer this ship. Let's cast our nets even down, because kune vanhu vane vakatsimbiriwa kuti vapinde mu standing committee vanenge vachigona kuti vatofambisa chinhu ichi. That's why I found it difficult kuti nditi Ningi can do, because ndinenge ndatova subjective. But in National Council mune leadership from all provinces vane vachitoziva kuti Ningi has got the capacity, but aitsimbiriwa Ningi uyu anogona kuti aitsimbiriwa. Ndo mazita vanotaura iwawo dzavamo tinomuti anogona because of MDC-T. Atitungamiri kusvika tasvika kuCongress, the best person obva aita the leader of the organization.
Do you think there are people who are supporting Douglas Togase Mwonzora so that they keep their positions in Parliament and in Senate because they fear being recalled?
That's the truth. Like I told you earlier on to say, Pandakati tikajiwa by election, I will resign because ndinda mutungamiri weburial society. How could I say that mutungamiri weburial society is name councillors right now who are purported to belong to MDC? how can I say that when we have my MPs, anonzi MDC, as the chairman, ndinenge chitoziva kuti vatiri kuti makandla MDC nechichi vasina kurikolewa havazivi yedu vanesu during the day, then in the night vari kwavari chaiko chaiko, ende vane vachitaura kuti we just want kuti tichipedzisa our term in office because it's called out there, tinorumwa nemadhata. Saka tokumbirawo mutinzwirewo tsitsi tirambe tiri uku, but kana mukati kune rally ndokupaiwo $5 kuti muwedzerere fiwewo kune any other mapolitical parties pavane vachiona kuti ndokunenge kune live, then kweduku vane vachingoti tikati meeting vanoatenda yanhasi all over 3, 4, 5 voatenda imwe 1 all over 3, 4, 5 kuti vangomakisa mazita. But if truth is to be told, my MPs and my councillors are MDC-T are more than 90% are score. Yes.
Does this worry Douglas Mwonzora?
Why should it worry him? As long as Grant Rich will actually some pocket, shake Shakapata. Because the city state will mushroom. Here I was out of 2023 Panonzi, party yake kana munhu wana apinda mu parliament kana kuti mu council. Here anenge atori ne plan B. That's why I said anogona kuzoona kuti akutonzi commission. Ngamudi yake anenge akatopedza plan yake. Saka isu atidi kushandiswa manje. Kana tatozviona kuti unoda kutoninyunya mbora unobudira hapo. Why should you use me? Am I a type of a person who can be used? I can be used for a short time. Ndichitoranga exit plan. So, ameno vari kuramba vachibvuma kushandiswa iye achiita fedha magoals ake ekutyha grant parinoperera obva asiyana nechinhu.
I will allow you, my brother, Mr. Mhetu, just to look into the people of Zimbabwe and tell them and talk to them in terms of where Zimbabwe needs to go and what needs to be done if we are to move away from politics of greed, politics of making money and putting money in one's personal pocket, and begin to care about the people of Zimbabwe.
In report, the people of Zimbabwe suffered a lot. Chanyanya kutitambudza constitution yedu yatakavotera ine the winner take it all. This is the problem, because I want to quote Jonathan Moore at one point when we were talking about reforms. He said we cannot reform ourselves out of power. You get me? Saka kuti for the sake of nation building, ngatiendei kuma elections, political party A, B, C, and Z. Then president a winner with political party A, anofoma government. But cabinet yake inofana kunge ine a proportional representation yet the losing political parties. Tikadaro manjika tatopedza the violence iri kusashwa nevanhu at the base of the ruling party and the like, and tinotozviita put to an end, because aya ma-opposition aya haadiri jecha, because vanenge vachiziva kuti anyway nyange zvikanzi ruling party yahwina, isusu tichange tiri mucabinet, tichange tiri muparliament, madecisions enyika paanomekewa chaipo mucabinet tinenge tirimo. That way we will build a spirit of unity in our country and we go far. Inini I am against the politics, the antagonism, dzekutoti uyu ngaatodona inini ndipinde, because the moment aramba aripo inini kwangu hakuna chiriko. The people who suffer ndo the grassroots, the ordinary people, the workers, the vendors, women, vari kutambura nokuda kwethis antagonist politics. Inini ndiri kukumbirisa and dai ndakapinda muparliament, this is the first motion yandaindomuva imomo. The winner takes it all mantra ngaipere. Takuda proportional representation in parliament, I mean in cabinet. Ku parliament zvinoramba zviri zvazviri, but in cabinet.
And what would be your advice to Douglas Mwonzora, your former president?
he should do the honorable thing to step down. And my focus is no longer much on Douglas Mwonzora right now. All that I spoke about MDC, I think, is enough. We have to focus on nation building. And nation building, we are forever. Ikuti ngatimbobvisai the winner take it all. Kana zvikanzi triple C vaNelson Chamisa vahwina mucabinet muine top hierarchy yeZANU-PF. Imimi munofunga kuti pangaita kakuda kurambirira nekutsikana konzi zvakanyanya here kana vachizivawo kuti we will be part of the cake, we will be part of the decision making zechitwa muno muZimbabwe. Pangaita a much of a resistance iripapo. In my own opinion, and wonisi kuti inovapo. Ini ndo the motion yandingada kuti nditopusha kana pachitwa a constitutional amendment inogona kutoitwa. Kana pachitwa referendum inogona kutoitwa. But ndinonasa kuti izvi zvikaitwa zvichaunza peace in the country. It zvichaunza development in the country.
Amazing. Now, we will leave you listening for this moment. We'll just take you through to a leaked audio chat that the chairperson of the MDC-T, Komichi, was sharing with a member of the MDC-T just after the by-elections. Now, in other polling stations, the MDC-T actually got 0 votes, even though they had polling agents there. Some are saying that their polling agents didn't even vote for their own candidates. And it's the worst performance of the MDC in any of its formations since it was formed. We know that the MDC has, in the past, split. Bolshevik went out, it took a split. We also saw Madame Thokozani Kube splitting from Nelson Chamisa to run the MDC-T, and there was the MDC Alliance. But this is the worst performance in election of a branch of the MDC since its formation 22 years ago. Now listen to Morgan Komichi.
Ndiripo makadi wako ndizvo ngodaro izvo zvakaoma izvi zvakaoma ko matoita seiko tofamba seiko kubva panapa kuenda mberi
takaoma otherwise hatina patidekarambwa nevanhu
zvinotodii naye mukoma
but the truth of the matter is that the people rejected them. Rejected the MDC. Bavari MDC is no longer a worthy party.
All right.
MDC is just a package of ZANU. In their eyes, so it's no longer worth to vote for.
Yeah.
But why is it the guy why that subjective that he wants to take it because defend and justify. But the truth of the matter is that the results are rejected. And it's uniform, it's countrywide, and the one is feeling towards us. Wherever you go, party, but this is the same party in our Sangrai. It's performers, the same party and in Nelson. It's performers, Now vanhu vachaiwonisa kuti ipati saka find out from the people vari paground kuti kochi they will tell you the truth, otherwise pachedu togara tinyenderana.
No, samataura vakoma ndizvo chokwadi, but at the end of the day we have to make a decision. What is it that we are supposed to be doing now? Because people have actually rejected us.
Besa nevanhu vanhu vanotudza. I think the best way to deal with such kind of a big problem is research, so that you make something very popular in Iran. As I'm saying, if you ask me, I'm subjective because in the actor, in the participant. So I will not be able to give you a proper universal solution. Iran, because I also don't know what you're not going. And the speculator, I'm being subjective because in the room, so I'm bound to try to justify. I think I go on vakaramba vacho. Suppose because maita survey nasuno kwete kuti even tomorrow nasuno maita survey yenyu from an ordinary person. Don't go to an activist. From an ordinary person akavota anotudza chokwadi, and if we listen to that, then that's the solution. If we wanted to pretend that we can force people it was a sheer waste of time. It is simple. It is simple. When you kusha makambonyenga vasikana. Wamaita stereki musikana iye but yakakuzota akucha nandi kudi. Iyo yekuti kuina the heart of a woman kana kuina the heart of a person. Is something that must be munhu wacho naye wonder kuti akude wacho ndiye anofanira kuexplaina kuti handikudi because of the following reason. Otherwise kana kuti haukami musoro, ukakama musoro ndinokuda handizere kana kuti haupfeki zvakanaka pavanhu, ukapfeka zvakanaka ndinokuda.
Ndapanzwa koma.
Ita that kind of research mugochitaurirawo.
Are we likely to meet any time as leadership tichionesana zvinhu takazviona avakoma tinoziva what the people are saying tiri kuzvinzwisisa matombotaura part of the minds of the people. Are we likely to meet any time as leadership?
Yeah, tineni National Council on Friday.
National Council on Friday.
Yes.
All right, tigadzirire tione.
When we meet as leadership, and that to tell each other the truth, kuti ko chakarambwa MDC. Andidika. MDC nasuno yanga imbodikangwa before. Andidi. Yeah, they can say what mistake did it make? Don't the question of vanhu.
I know that's true. I think my answer is why now come out. Where did we go wrong? Why did the people reject us overwhelmingly? We've got the answers. What we need to do is make but no sangana. Tongo utaurana chokwadi chaicho. Ndinotenda ukoma maita basi. Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us here on the situation right now. And I was with my good brother and friend Mhetu, who was the MDC-T Harare provincial chairperson and also the losing candidate for Epworth constituency. He has a love relationship with Epworth. He wanted to contest or stand on behalf of the MDC Alliance in 2018. I failed to do that, but he did at that particular time have considerable support in that constituency. He came back to try and win that constituency. He performed dismally. He actually performed better in primary elections in 2018 than he actually then did in these by-elections, where the MDC, the party that he was representing, got 0 out of all the seats that were available in the by-elections. And what many have said, the saddest thing is that they caused the by-election, and they got nothing from the by-elections that they caused. And hence some of the misgivings that Mhetu was expressing here. But thank you very much for joining me on the situation right now on Heart and Soul TV and radio, and we remain the alternative voice. We allow everybody to be heard on this channel. We allow you to give your inputs, and we allow Zimbabwe to talk to each other. Now, this is the situation right now. I, your host as usual, Dara, Blessed Mhlanga on Heart and Soul TV and radio. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time.